I have a lot of opinions about Huda from Love Island, but one thing about it is that I don't hate her. But I will say is that is not, how should I say it? People are dragging it. Let's get started. So what I mean by this is that if you watch season 6 of Leia, because Leia, if I'm not mistaken, so she has Iranian roots. But one thing I noticed from productions is that they have an agenda toward they had an agenda towards Leia and Huda, and I could see that is because of how should I say it like this? Because Leia and Huda, I would say they had a fair reaction. You know what I'm saying? Many people are like, oh, they shouldn't react like that. You know, they's being ghetto, this and the other. Or now, when I defending Huda, I'm not saying what she called them girls out their names. Okay, I am not saying that, and I will get to that part. But right now, I'm talking about like towards the guys, specifically towards Huda, towards Jeremiah. Okay, or what's her name, Leia, towards I forgot what that little I forgot that American boy name, but anyways, so that's what I kind of noticed is that because their reactions and because you know how production like to cut out a lot of things, is that it seemed like they being dramatic. You know, they're doing exactly kind of like what they did to African American girlies in the early 2000s. I wouldn't really say now because I mean, I don't know because, you know, Bad Girls Club already ended, you know what I'm saying, and all these other stuff. I really don't know. But I would definitely say because the reason I brought that up is because of how when they have a reaction like, hey, you did this to me and whatnot, and I did not like it. If you raise your voice or you're not playing the perfect victim, they gonna make sure you look disgusting on TV. And that's the saddest truth of all. And the reason I brought up how Leia is Iranian and Huda is Palestinian is because of how, especially here in America with the politics and stuff and how people are, I forgot what it's called when they hate you for where you come from. I forgot what it's called. Please let me know what the word is because I forgot. But yeah, I noticed that, and also because I remember I was looking up, like I saw something that hate, and they really brought that up, at least from what I saw, you know, and which is really disgusting. But another thing is that, back to Huda, I want to speak about Huda and her. I feel as though that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she is not the perfect person, and I definitely don't agree with a lot of things she has done, especially with calling the girls out their names. But I feel as though many of the people in the villa are very mean girls and mean boys towards her, except for Maya Papaya. You know I love Maya Papaya. But I noticed that for Huda, because one thing about us ladies, and because this is going to be lessons we can learn from about Huda, and also too, not to hate Huda, is number one is that I feel like many people didn't watch like the show to understand how they do women. What I mean is this, ladies, if you know, what's it called? People, if they see you react, they gonna use that your whole personality. Meaning, no one say anything mean or crazy about Huda until she start yelling at Jeremiah and calling the girls names and whatnot. So what I mean by this is that, well, mostly when she started yelling at Jeremiah getting envious. What I mean by this is that don't react. You know what I'm saying? You can't be angry, but don't give them reaction. I don't care if people like, oh, well, you know, we love crash outs. You know, slings that people are using these days or whatever. But yeah, You can get angry, but cut them off, okay? The reason I said this is because of how I noticed how many people I feel like many people watch this show from TikTok videos. The reason I say that is because they was like, oh, but she's mean and she you know, did this to Jeremiah. They try to make look Jeremiah is the victim when Jeremiah is not the victim. Because if you guys watch the show, especially in the first earlier episodes, Jeremiah was upset because, was not upset. Jeremiah is very territorial. In fact, everything people said that, oh, but she didn't like how Jeremiah joined the challenges, how Jeremiah kissed other girls, how she's talking to other guys. Jeremiah did that in earlier episodes. He said, because when he was talking to Ace, he said, yeah, but I'm very territorial. I don't like her talking to other guys. He kept questioning her if she kissed any other guy when they did that first challenge with the put the mask on and kiss any person you want. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, he sprayed the cologne, his cologne on her bed. You know, he didn't really. People was like, oh, but he confronted her. No, he did not. One thing I noticed about because I feel like Jeremiah, because remember I talked about earlier in my other videos how there's different type of narcissists. I'm not diagnosing Jeremiah. I only say what I see on the show. You know what? I'm not going to diagnose Jeremiah. You know how benign narcissists go along with everything? I'm not saying Jeremiah's a benign narcissist, but I am saying is that how he's going along with everything that Huda was saying, and how he dragged it out with her, instead of confronting her. And then on top of that, they hugging and kissing, you know, of course you're going to feel like, who are we after that? Now, I will say that Huda, she did move a little too fast, but at the exact same time, he did too. So that's why I'm not really mad at Huda for all this stuff. But I'm like, yeah, but he did it too. Actually, if I'm going to be really honest here, it seemed like he initiated the whole entire thing. And she was like, oh, okay, that's how we're going to roll. We're going to roll like that. And she rolled like that. You know? She probably did a different way. That got her dragged. But that's still the same way. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, with that being said, now I will say, I forgot to mention, I'm on episode 7 right now. I'm about to finish up to catch up the whole entire episode tonight and then watch the new episode tonight. So please don't spoil. Okay, please don't spoil. Actually, you know what? I actually seen some of it. I'm lying. Actually, I think I passed episode 7. Anyways, needless to say, let me keep going. This is from what I know as of now. Yeah, let me say it like that. Over here, rambling you guys' ears. Another thing that I noticed is that how with the production, or not production, the people in the villa, specifically the girls, is that I hated how they was making fun, because I already know men make fun of women all the time. Men talk about women. I already know about that. I don't expect less from men than I do from women. And another thing we can learn from here, girlies, is that, from what I said earlier, is A, don't react. B, just because he does, be careful of love bombing. Actually, let me go back to the second point I made. Be careful of love bombing. What Jeremiah did earlier in the episodes was love bombing. I don't care if he's like, oh, I gave you diamonds on your first date. I want to be intimate with you on your 4th date. You know, oh, I hate when you're talking to your other guy. Your other guy is your 7-year-old cousin. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be careful. Because I know for us ladies, these men been studying us, okay? They already know a lot of women fall trap into the fairy tale dream. Over here on this channel, we do not, okay? Another thing is, for Huda, about Huda that I noticed is that um what's gonna say though is that, yeah, I didn't like how they was being mean to her when they sit on that couch literally talking about her, and then they was like, oh, she's staring at us. Yeah, I would stare at you too if you was looking at me while I'm working out. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, is that um be careful who you talk about your problems to, because I feel like the only person that doesn't really do this is Amaya, and that makes sense. Um, and as far as I'm seeing, and how they literally talk about her. The reason I say that is because that you need to be careful about who you talk your problems to, because sometimes they can make fun of you or sit there and be like, oh yeah, she mad crazy. Oh yeah, she acting like this and whatnot. Acting like you guys didn't know her whole situation. You guys had front row seats. If I'm not mistaken, Alondria even said how she was scared for Huda in the earlier episodes because she felt as though Jeremiah was trying to love bomb her. You know? Also, too, another thing is, I think that's all who I have right now about the Huda situation, is that they basically dragged it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she's a perfect person, and definitely not saying she's a great person, but I definitely understand her. You know what I'm saying? And I love her, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand. Now, with that being said, her reaction to other bombshells that come to the villa is absolutely unacceptable. Because I will talk about how she talked to Jeremiah towards the end, but right now I want to talk about her action towards the girls. So, with that being said, is that I feel as though when she was with Jeremiah, because I don't know what she's doing right now and not, don't spoil it for me. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I'm at the what's I gonna say? Yeah, so and when other bombshells walk in and talk to Jeremiah and whatnot, she is quick with the calling them B words, calling them this, that, and the other. Listen, I feel as though that, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to judge her too harshly, because Jeremiah was no different with him getting mad at the other guys doing that to Huda, except during from the challenges one for one I've seen. You know what I'm saying? But I will say though, is that don't call no woman no B word. Okay, that's another lesson for us Exotical Barbies. Do not call no woman out her name and whatnot just because she's flirting with your guy, unless not in Love Island. Like we're saying, in the real world, your friend, she's over here playing with your boyfriend, whatnot. Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah, I understand that. But I'm talking about, like, for example, let's say your boyfriend goes to Walmart, you know what I'm saying, and he's getting flirted at, and he's not with you, you know what I'm saying. Let's say you're at Target or whatever, I don't know, and he's not flirting back, but he's flirting with her, and she doesn't know that he has a girlfriend or whatever. She doesn't know the circumstances. Do not call that girl out her name, okay? You do not fight with women. If the guy flirts back, honey, you're done with him. You should be done with him, actually. Okay? Now, for Huda case, for Love Island, is that she shouldn't get upset because it is Love Island, although I understand because Jeremiah did the exact same thing with her. She should not get that upset. And get that upset when I mean is try calling her the B word. You can have some type of feeling like, hey, I want to relate, you know what I'm saying? But for her to call them out their names and be mean to them is a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? So that's from what I noticed, and then also being mean towards them, you know what I'm saying? That is not a good thing. Do not do that. Now, from what people said, that is that Huda calling Jeremiah out his name, I would say I don't do that. That is just a me preference, okay? Because I'm religious, and also too, I just don't roll like that. I wasn't taught to do that. I'm taught to call you by what you are. So like, you know what I'm saying, like coward, mean, you know, those type of words. But yeah, I would definitely say Jeremiah was a coward. She used a different word though. So now would I say she should have done that? No. But do I understand why she called him out his name? Yeah, I do. To kind of sum it up, if that makes sense. Because if that's the case, because the reason why I'm not so mean towards Huda, even though I do have a little criticism for her, you know, and I'm not saying she is, how should I say it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to like kind of word it. I'm not going to get too upset at her because a lot of you guys on the internet, by the way, do the exact same thing that Huda does. You guys call girls a B word and call them names and whatnot just because they look at your guy. By the way, they don't even know that that y'all in a relationship. You know, they're probably like, oh, he's such a cute guy. You're like, yes, my man, you stupid little, you know, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. And when the girl does say sorry and back up, you guys still being mean to her. Or, for example, when you guys ex, like let's say you guys like broke up with your ex one night and you see a girl flirting with him one night and you guys over here like, oh, she ain't better than me, look at her, she look fat and everything. Like you guys are just as mean as Huda. Not just as mean as Huda. You guys are just as, well, that is me, but you guys are no different than Huda. Okay, and then you guys are saying, oh, well, she should never call her man out his name, that you should never bring a man down like that. You guys do it all the time. I seen it on the internet of girls, a woman calling their baby daddy blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying, calling their dads blah blah blah, you know, and do all this and that and the other. But see, as soon as you see Huda does that, all of a sudden she's the whole villain of the whole show. You know, also too, like you guys have like, that's why I don't really get mad at Huda, even though I feel as though there's a lot of stuff there. I'm not mad at her like that because you guys move the same wavelength, you know, until you see a baddie that does that. And yes, Huda is a baddie. Okay, she is a baddie. She's bad. Okay, because last time I checked, a lot of you guys trying to find out how she twerk like that and how she get a butt like that and how she's built like that. Okay, and please don't go in a conversation. Oh, she had got a liposuction. That's why she did lymphatic drainage. Many people have been doing lymphatic drainage, even if they don't have plastic surgery, babes. And they're like, oh, she got her face done and whatnot. And you guys so far, the Kardashians, who have gotten their face done, body done, but you guys still follow them. You guys actually follow a lot of people that have gotten stuff done. I even go far back in the past because I don't want to see no one in the comment section be like, oh, we need to bring up women in the past who didn't have plastic surgery and whatnot because they didn't have plastic surgery. Yes, they done. Yes, they have. Rita Hayward, she has, I wouldn't say she had plastic surgery, but I know she had a hairline. What's it called? She had her hairline like moved back and whatnot. Marilyn Monroe had plenty of plastic surgeries and whatnot. You guys just don't know until they tell you, but sometimes it's obvious and whatnot or whatever. And I will talk about how Glorilla and her rhinoplasty and how you guys was bullying her and they now make fun of her. Anyways, so let me get back to this topic. Sorry. But what I'm trying to say here is that for us Exotical Barbies, do not roll with what the internet roll with. You stay in our lane. What I mean is this: just because someone say, "Oh, we like crash out," "Oh, you're a crash out," "I used to be a crash out," does not mean you be a crash out. Because as soon as you do it, bam, they're dragging you. Okay, they're dragging you. Because you saw with Leia, they did that with Leia in season 6. Another thing is, so I'm kind of summing up the end of the video, is that also too, just because they say that, oh, I'm gonna buy you these presents, I'm gonna make love with you, I'm gonna buy you these diamonds and stuff. Mind you, it's a week of you meeting the guy. Does not mean you should jump the gun, okay? Do not do that. Also too, reactive abuse is a thing, okay? Huda and Jeremiah are not good for each other. I hope they never get back to each other again. And Huda, oh, what should I say it? I feel like she deserved space and happiness. And I hope she gets that. I also hope she, what's I call it? Yeah. And also too, yes, I already addressed that how she's wrong for calling people out their names and stuff. I already addressed that. Okay, I already addressed her hypocrisy stuff, so I don't want to hear, oh, you didn't do that. I did, but I still love Huda because I've seen how they drag these type of women. Anyways, what I was going to say, because I'm trying to close up in the video. Also too, don't think everyone be there for you, because you saw how they was trying to clown her when they sit on that couch making fun of her and staring at her, okay? Because as soon as they see you being flawed, they gonna make you the black sheep. And if you is a Exotical Barbie who been in Huda position, know exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes the only way to get out of the position is to move out that community. I'm just saying. Even if you do change, they still gonna make you the running joke for probably for years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that sums it up. Please comment. How do you feel about Huda? Have you been a Huda? You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you think. You know what I'm saying? And if you want me to make a video about Ace being jealous and narcissistic towards Jeremiah, based on what I see in the show, and not saying that's who he is as a person, please let me know. And also too, someone told me that Ace had a crush on Huda. Please let me know at the comment section. Guys, let me know. I love all of you guys. I hope you guys have a blessed, wonderful day.